Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that wanted to leave the city they'd been living in for a while. And it was quite a big, bustly, major metropolitan area. And they really liked nature, green fields, trees, space, open space, clean, fresh air. But they felt some kind of resistance to that. So what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session is an element of a couple of metaphors fused with certain suggestions that link to this idea that not only can they handle what the future brings, but actually they wouldn't want to keep things the same, and that therefore changing is inevitable. It's just making a discerning change rather than rushing into anything. And a lot of people have had the experience of making a bad decision just because they're running away from something they don't want. And that might be someone with, let's say, an abusive father running into a new relationship, for example, simply to get away from a toxic home environment. But rarely does that lead to good things, because the urgency to get away from something you don't want is probably going to distort the due diligence and consideration of whatever is the thing you're going towards. And the ideal motivation isn't to only move towards what you want, but also to learn what you don't want. And therefore, I feel like the carrot and the stick is really useful. It's not a problem to move away from what you don't want, because that is intuitive. You can assess that you don't want to be with someone in a certain place, in a certain environment, in a certain job. Like, knowing that is a good thing, as long as you just don't rush into anything other than that. So knowing what you want and what you don't want is really helpful, and feeling like you can do it in stages. One of the key things that gets in the way of making a change is this idea of it has to be a perfect change. It has to be exactly the right thing. But actually, just making a change that is an improvement on where you are actually can lead to even more decisions like that, which can get you really where you do want. And this particular client was considering 3 parts of the country to live in, and feeling like that's a bit of a quest, that's an adventure to explore what they want. Really resisted and reduced the amount of resistance to stop them exploring that. So because this is so metaphorical, I think it would benefit anyone considering making a major life change. Like I say, that could be a job, could be a place to live, could be a relationship, could be a friendship. But if you're considering making a big change that is anything other than keeping things the same, anything other than the status quo, this will help to frame it in a way that will give you a sense of confidence and courage to help make a major life change. Obviously, it was created for someone else. If you feel like a bespoke session might be helpful for you, click the link in the show notes and you can schedule that free consultation call. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to feel like it's dissolving and leaving your body in that outward breath. And when you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to exhale for longer, a long outward breath. And just scan your body for any clues of tension, perhaps around your forehead, your jaw, your neck, or your shoulders. And as you breathe in a feeling of resourceful relaxation, give permission to that tension for it to let go completely. Allow it to feel like it's leaving your body, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. And as your body relaxes, allow your imagination to awaken. And I want you to imagine staring into a photo, a painting, or a picture of a river weaving its way through beautiful landscapes. And I want you to imagine stepping into that picture and finding yourself on one side of the river. And for a while, that side of the river was exactly where you were meant to be. A desirable place. You felt comfortable there. But I want you to get a sense that something has changed on this side of the river. It no longer feels quite as safe, as peaceful, as calm. And I want you to imagine adding things to your side of the river that represent your reality now. Maybe you add big, tall buildings, a smell, noise, hustle and bustle, even roads and traffic. But you realize that just on the other side of the river are all the things that deep down are more desirable. Fresh air, peacefulness, safety, open spaces. But as you approach the river, I want you to get a sense. The river is just too wide and too deep for you to cross the river in one jump. And you can wait until a bridge magically appears, and we can call that luck or good fortune. Or you can find your way across the river that matches where you're at. And as you explore the river, I want you to get a sense that you discover 2 or 3 stepping stones, that although it's not possible to cross the river in one jump, each of these stepping stones seems manageable, achievable, and well within your capabilities. And just because the stepping stones are there still doesn't mean you have to cross. And we can call the side of the river that you're on the status quo, continuing as it already is. And sometimes the law of familiarity means that we feel that because we know what to expect, somehow that feels safer, more predictable. There's a saying, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And that keeps people in undesirable situations for way too long. And if your unconscious has already made the decision that even if you're not sure exactly what you're going to, you have decided you don't want to remain on your side of the river, let me know by nodding your head. And then it becomes a quest, an epic quest to find the right side of the river for you. And what if stepping stone 1 we can call reconnaissance? Many people take a car for a test drive before they buy one. And sometimes they'll take 2 or 3 or 4 cars for a test drive before they commit to a test. What if the test itself reduces risk? And even then, some people don't even buy the car. They lease the car just to make sure. So just imagine leaping from the riverbank to stepping stone 1 and feel how sturdy that first stepping stone is, not wobbling at all, well within your capability. And there on stepping stone 1, I want you to imagine what it would be like to explore a different part of the country. Maybe you can imagine taking a train to a town. Imagine staying in a hotel and exploring the nearby areas. And I want you to get a sense that the right place for you will reveal itself to you based on how you intuitively feel. You'll know it when you feel it. Perhaps you could imagine taking a flight to a different part of the country and exploring cities and regions there. I want you to get a sense that it's the feeling you're looking for. The right feeling will mean it doesn't matter how much green is around you. It won't matter how much rainfall or sunshine. The right feeling will be the right place for you. Perhaps you could imagine even a third place. Different terrain, different accent maybe. But I want you to get a sense that in one of these places, you will uncover a feeling. And the feeling doesn't have to be perfect peacefulness. It just has to be the best feeling of the places you're exploring. And if your unconscious mind accepts that step one of the quest is to find the best choice that represents an improvement compared to where things are, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine going forwards in time and maybe giving notice to end a lease. Imagine finding a place where you can live for a year or so in that area. This doesn't have to be the perfect place. What if this is stepping stone 2? What if this is your base to explore the wider region there? What if this is the place where you relearn to drive, feel comfortable behind a steering wheel, find the cute towns, impressive landscape and countryside, and just, what if this is the place, your base to explore? I want you to imagine looking out from a balcony of a managed building, feeling that this doesn't need to be home forever. This is just home for now. This is the ideal place to do even more exploring, to find even more of that feeling, a feeling that feels like a peaceful home, a safe, secure place where you can feel relaxed and free. So imagine driving around that region, exploring different places, breathing in fresh air, tasting good food, getting a sense of the ambience, the energy, the communities, the feelings. And maybe you find the right place here, the place that you could call home for a longer period of time, or decide that we need another stepping stone. Because here's the interesting thing. From the second stepping stone, you then have a choice. It's close enough to the other side of the river to just leap and be there. But if you really wanted to make sure, there is the third stepping stone. And maybe that is another year somewhere else to compare and contrast, to really make sure that your intuition is leading you to a place where you feel happy. And you don't need to decide whether to take the third stepping stone or just leap across the river now. You will only know that when you arrive at stepping stone number 2. We don't have to second guess the future. Just respond to it. If something feels good, then do it. And if it doesn't feel right, take some more time. Mitigate the risks. Feel that you're doing things in your way, at your pace. But I want you to get a sense that crossing the river is desirable and achievable, and that's all your mind needs to know. And if it feels that, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to feel that your unconscious will give you the resources every time you make a decision that aligns with a desirable future, that every time you do something outside of your comfort zone, Your unconscious intuition will reward you with courage and confidence. All you need to do is believe that it will be there when you need it, and it will. When you act from a place of self-belief, you will be rewarded with all of the resources you need. But don't be surprised if when you act from hesitation or doubt, fear or inertia, more doubts and fears will creep in. So give permission to yourself to act boldly and bravely, knowing that things will work out fine, because they will. And as you hold that thought, feel like you're floating back through that picture into the here and now with a new sense of clarity, a new sense of adventure, a new sense of courage and optimism that you are on a quest to find the ideal side of the riverbank for you. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.